The rain fell hard against the cracked sidewalk outside a small flower shop tucked away on a quiet street in Maplewood. Inside, a black woman named Simone Harris sat behind the counter, surrounded by a pile of overdue bills. The sign above the door, Petals of Grace, flickered against the darkening evening sky, casting a soft, uneven glow through the glass front. The shop smelled faintly of lavender and eucalyptus, but the heater had long since given up trying to push away the chill. Simone moved slowly, trimming the browned edges of a bouquet of hydrangeas with the care of someone who respected even the smallest living thing. This shop was her dream, but dreams, as she'd learned, didn't pay rent. Business had been slow for months. The shelves that once burst with color now held empty vases, and the rent was 3 weeks past due. Still, she stayed open. This place wasn't just about flowers. It had become a quiet haven for the children from the nearby shelter, the ones who wandered in hungry, in need of warmth and attention. Simone always made sure they left with full bellies and brighter spirits. As the clock inched toward closing time, Simone's routine was interrupted by a movement at the edge of the glass door. She looked up and saw a boy maybe 10 years old sitting in a wheelchair, drenched from the storm, shivering under the awning. His pale skin and blonde hair were soaked through, his small hands gripping the wheels of his chair as if to hold himself steady against the wind. Simone's heart clenched. The boy didn't look like the other kids who usually came through her door. His backpack was designer, monogrammed in gold thread, but none of that mattered as she watched him shiver outside her shop. She opened the door, the sharp wind immediately rushing inside. "Hey there, sweetheart," she called softly. "You all right?" The boy flinched, his eyes wide and glassy. He hesitated before mumbling, "Just waiting out the rain. Needed somewhere dry." Simone nodded and stepped aside. "Come on in, baby. You're gonna catch your death out there." Careful not to startle him, Simone helped hold the door as he wheeled himself inside. She wrapped a towel around his shoulders and guided him to a table near the warmth of the space heater. "I'm Simone," she said with a gentle smile. "What's your name?" "Lucas," he answered quietly. "Well, Lucas, how about some soup and a sandwich to warm you up?" The boy gave a small nod, and Simone got to work. A simple grilled cheese and tomato soup, the kind of meal that tasted like comfort. Lucas ate slowly at first, but hunger softened his hesitation. Between bites, he looked around at the flowers arranged carefully throughout the shop. "You have a lot of flowers," he said. Simone chuckled. "It is a flower shop, after all. But every flower has a meaning, you know. Daffodils mean hope. Peonies stand for love. Hydrangeas for balance." Lucas touched a daffodil gently, his small fingers running along the delicate petals. "Do you really believe that? That flowers can mean something?" Simone nodded. "Baby, sometimes believing in something beautiful is the only thing that keeps you going." Lucas didn't say much after that, but he stayed until the rain eased. When he finally left, Simone watched him roll down the street, her heart heavy with questions she didn't dare ask. 3 days later, the door chimed again. There he was, Lucas, this time wrapped in a new raincoat, looking a little more confident. "You said you're open Tuesday to Saturday," he reminded her. "That I did," Simone replied, smiling. "Glad you remembered." Lucas became a regular at the shop. Quiet at first, then slowly engaging in the bouquet-making lessons Simone held for the neighborhood kids. He didn't talk about his family, and Simone didn't pry. But she noticed the way he watched her work, the way he listened intently when she explained the meanings behind each flower. As weeks turned to months, Lucas flourished in the little community Simone had built. The other children accepted him easily, cheering when he completed his first arrangement on his own. For the first time in a long while, Lucas felt like he belonged somewhere. One afternoon, as the shop was winding down for the day, Lucas presented Simone with a small bouquet he had made himself, lavender and a single daisy in the middle. "For you," he said shyly. Simone's eyes softened. "Do you remember what the daisy means?" "Innocence," Lucas replied. "And hope." Tears welled in Simone's eyes, but she held them back, squeezing his hand gently. "Thank you, baby. You have no idea what that means to me." But the weight of the unpaid bills never lifted. One evening, as Simone sat with another final notice in hand, Lucas arrived and immediately sensed the change in the air. "You're sad," he said quietly. Simone forced a smile. "It's nothing, sugar. Just might have to close the shop. Rent's overdue, and the orders aren't enough to keep the doors open." Lucas's face fell. He said nothing, but his eyes glistened as he rolled away, leaving earlier than usual. 2 days passed without a sign of Lucas. Simone tried not to take it personally, but the emptiness left by his absence hurt more than she expected. She began boxing up supplies, preparing to shut the doors for good. That's when the knock came at the door. Not the gentle chime of the bell, but a firm, deliberate knock. Outside stood a tall man in a sleek gray suit, rain still beating on his shoulders. His face was hard, sharp, the kind of man used to power. "We're closed," Simone called out. "I'm not here to buy flowers," the man said. "I'm here about my son, Lucas." Simone's heart skipped. She opened the door cautiously. "Is he okay?" "He's fine," the man replied. "My name is Daniel Whitmore. Lucas is my son." The name meant little to Simone, but the weight behind it was unmistakable. "Lucas spoke about you," Daniel continued. "He told me about this place, about what you've done for him." Daniel's voice softened as he spoke of the loss of Lucas's mother, the accident that left his son in a wheelchair, and the years of therapy that failed to reach him. "But you did," he admitted. "Lucas told me this was the first place where he felt seen, where he wasn't just the boy in the chair." Daniel reached into his coat, pulling out an envelope and holding it out to Simone. "I want to help. Cover your debts. Keep this place open." Simone stared at the envelope but didn't take it. "I don't take charity," she said firmly. "It's not charity," Daniel replied. "It's gratitude." When Simone still didn't move, Daniel smiled faintly. "How about a partnership instead? You keep running this place like you always have, and I'll help you expand it into something even bigger. A community center. Workshops. You keep the heart of it. I just help make sure it keeps beating." Simone hesitated, eyes on the shop she'd built with her own hands, the place where so many children had found safety and joy. "I'll think about it," she said. "Take all the time you need," Daniel replied. But Lucas was afraid you'd disappear before he could say goodbye. The next morning, Simone unlocked the door to Petals of Grace, ready to fight for what she had built. With Daniel's support not as a benefactor, but as a partner, the shop transformed into a vibrant community hub. Lucas became the assistant manager of positivity, proudly wearing an apron embroidered with his name. The shop thrived. Children gathered for lessons and meals, flowers arranged with care and love. And at the center of it all stood Simone, who never stopped believing in the quiet power of kindness. And sometimes the greatest seeds of change bloom from the smallest acts of grace.